The codes of light you carry inside anchor a new way of life. Heart-centered being, awareness and seeing. You are out on the leading edge.
Hi star people and people of Earth. So today I'm going to start off this channeling a little different. I am feeling a little in between right now because they want to come through. But I thought I'd start this off with a little bit of an explanation. I don't often speak before these videos. In fact, I don't think I ever have. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I'll be doing. I did have a, what is channeling video, which you can definitely check out if you're more interested, but I thought I'd just talk about it a little bit first. So channeling is where a person or being connects with a higher consciousness. For me, it's the feline council, which the feline council can also be in conjunction with the blue avians and the Arcturians and other beings. But overall, I call it the feline council. And I channel these beings because my soul stream is connected to the feline race. So that's specifically why I'm connected to them. But basically what will happen is I go into a meditative state, I drop down or up, as some people say, and I get into this very, kind of ego death kind of state where I'm not really thinking about what I'm saying. It's very flow. I am thinking about it, but it's more that I'm not coming up with it. I'm just kind of like whatever's coming to mind kind of comes out, and oftentimes it's things I've never thought of, so that's always kind of trippy. But what I'll also do, and at the beginning of some of my videos you may hear me singing notes, not specifically any specific notes in the sense of what sounds good together, but it's actually, I find that toning helps me drop into a higher frequency. Sound vibration is very pure frequency, just like light is, and so I find that actually hitting those notes actually puts me into a higher vibration. So if you're ever wondering why I do that, it's because I'm tuning into almost a certain frequency, if you will. And then it takes a minute for them to come through, and that you'll notice that it's a bit slow at first because we are kind of locking frequencies, and then it'll start to flow. Also, if things seem a little backwards, or sometimes they'll say goodbye and then they'll continue and then goodbye again, because time and space is relative and we're dealing with different dimensions, sometimes the message isn't in quite the right order or things like that, or sometimes the wrong word will come through because they actually have to use my vocabulary. I couldn't channel to people of a different language or things like that. I mean, technically I probably could, but typically the channel is used to express through their expression. So it's going to be my language, my words most of the time. Sometimes I'll use words that I wouldn't normally use, which I always think is kind of funny. But most of the time it's the way I would speak. So sometimes I won't have quite the right word, or the translation will be a little off, and they'll say, oh no, we need a different word. And that's always a really interesting experience, and I can feel that typically. Oftentimes it's me feeling that, and I'll kind of switch a little and I'll get a better word for it, and it'll feel more in alignment. A lot of times I'm getting a lot of feelings and stuff, and so the words aren't always 100% what I'm receiving, and so oftentimes it's hard to get higher dimensional information into a third dimensional phrase or word, or just to explain it properly. So you always have to take with a grain of salt the exact words and really think about the feeling. What resonates for you? What feels good to you? Because obviously we're each different facet of consciousness. We're each here to have a different experience. So just take the words, ruminate on them, and decide what feels good. Sometimes things come through that are really interesting, or a different perspective than even I've had, and that's also very interesting as well. Oftentimes, though, their perspective makes a lot of sense to me just because I am a part of the feline race, so how they express oftentimes makes sense to me. So sometimes the messages that come through really sound a lot of like what I say, just because my expression, my higher self, is in alignment very much with the feline council. So not that I am always living in that truth, but when I'm in that truth, oftentimes it does sync up most of the times. But a lot of times they'll talk about stuff that I haven't personally thought about. Even if my higher self knows about it, I haven't personally thought about it. So that's always kind of interesting. So Anyway, just wanted to put that out there. I don't know, had an intuition too. But anyway, we're going to get into the channeling. Many blessings, and see you on the other side. Peace and greetings at this time. This is the Council of Light, of Galactic Light, that speaks to you now. We are a different collective than the typical channel is ready for, or expressive of, or hold please. The channel usually expresses information from the feline council, as you would call it, on this planet. We are a higher council of light. We have been waiting for the frequency on the planet to align to a point where our information can come through in a clear and balanced, aligned manner. Our information has come through a few channels on the planet, one being the being you would call Manali, and we are now ready to start expressing out in a more regular, not right word, more concentrated manner, and put out to the mass consciousness, not just one or two beings. We are the Council of Galactic Light. Galactic Light Council words in which order do not quite matter. What is the feeling that these things bring you? This is an exciting time for this connection. The channel is feeling excited and interested in hearing the new information. This channel has been feeling much more and should trust what she is feeling. We are noticing that any judgment is not helpful. Anything you consider wrong is ultimately seeing something from a perspective of lack or not right. This ultimately is not truth, because all that expresses, all that is experienced, all that has been decided or exchanged in a soul contract is happening exactly as it is supposed to happen. It is in this awareness that we acknowledge that whether or not something is happening is not wrong or right, but can be chosen to have as an experience or not. That is not making a judgment, but rather a choice. Hear these words and sit with them. Be present with them in your consciousness. Do not overthink them. What do these words mean to you? What do they make you feel? What do they invoke? It is time relative, but time in the collective conscious on your planet to start recognizing what feels in alignment. Not what is thought into alignment, what is the feeling of alignment. Oftentimes, you are able to trick or manipulate yourself into believing something is right, even if it does not feel right. Who told you what you are and are not supposed to do? Beings on your planet. Even messages from the, as you would call, deities, have been translated and spoken to you by other human beings. What belief systems do you have that are restricting you? Restriction does not necessarily mean to go all over the place and to not have order or balance. Restriction literally means restricted, compressed, not enough air, no life. What gives you the feeling within your body of restriction? Order does not necessarily mean restricted. Oftentimes, beings, most beings, all beings, function better under some order or alignment. It is important to understand the difference. Restriction, order. Feel these words within your body. Restriction, order. They feel different. This is what we mean by feel your reality. Feel what is in alignment. If you are feeling restricted, it is not in alignment. These teachings that you have been taught, are they your truth? Who told them to you? And why is what they are saying more valid than what your internal compass is saying? It is important to become aware of what feels good and then to focus the intention towards that goal, that experience. Your focusing aligns you with that reality. It is your beliefs that make it take a short or long time to experience. Anything that is slowing down the creation of your reality is you. This is not a blame or judgment. This is just the laws of how flow works. If you put up rocks along the river will not get to you as quickly. It is time to start taking responsibility and ownership of your life on this planet, and to start understanding why you are here, what it is you should be creating, what feels good to be creating, what is in alignment, what is of a higher vibration, and to take responsibility and actually follow through. So many of you know what you want, but do not follow through. Why is this? Sit with this question. Why is it you do not follow through? This answer may be different for everyone. What comes to you in this moment of reflection is your truth. Trust it. Time is irrelevant, but your experience could be pleasant or not. Again, not a judgment, not bad or good, but you may decide the reality that you are creating does not feel good. This isn't a bad thing, as it will help you align with what does feel good, as you will know what you do not want. However, the longer you stay in that reality is up to you. Feel what you want. Feel your goals. Feel, 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 feel. These are the words we wish to present to you at this time. Stop thinking, start feeling, and once you are feeling, let your thoughts perceive what it is you are perceiving and no more. You have been using the tool that perceives to drive the ship. Feel, choose what you want, and then focus your thoughts toward that thing. Your heart is your compass. Heart. Your soul is your compass. It resides within you. Trust it. It is connected to all. It is connected to your higher self. Connected is not even the right word. It is your higher self. You are your higher self. You just perceive the illusion that we have set before you, or that you have set before yourself. We have selected for you as a collective consciousness for the expansion of the universe and the other universes. Hold these thoughts within your mind. Sit with them. It is very easy to become distracted and forget these things. Notice how they make you feel. Maybe listen again. It is time to love. It is time to be compassionate towards yourself and yourself expressed as others. There are many things to be said. They will come in time. Hold yourselves in light, and you will recognize that you are light. Thank you for this transmission and this connected communication we have had with you today. All is peace. All is love. You just have to remember who you are. What all is. Thank you. We are complete.